Okay, now it's very interesting because it's not every day we do a new remote, because it's something you have to learn how to use and learn all the configurations and buttons. So now it's time to refresh this and get a new work done. So as you already see here, even on your camera, the screen is very easy to read, apart from the old one, which is somehow reflective, so it's difficult to see what's going on. When you change the menus, it's reacting okay fast, but if you are doing the same on the other one, it's extremely fast. So speed has been improved, of course. The other thing is that we now have these mode buttons right here. So now we are in the camera menu selection. We have presets, we have cameras and presets, macros, I will come back to that, and cameras and macros. So the beauty of this is that if you have a lot of cameras, you can basically just choose which group you want to show, choose a group and then let go, and then it's already loaded. So before, when we changed groups, we had to wait 5-10 seconds for them to load, it took forever. Now it's a lot faster to do. Some of the nice things about the new remote is also that in our device manager here, you can see that we have the RP200 represented right here. And normally that would be it. Then we couldn't do anything more than that. But now we actually also have a web interface. So that means that all the things we needed an external program to do, we can now do inside the web interface. So we can do all our camera assignments very easily, just type in the IPs and save them. We can do macro edits as well, as I talked about, so you can do a series of events. So for instance, record preset 1, wait 5 seconds, record preset 2, wait 4 seconds. We can even insert a wait trigger if we want to. So for this instance, we can show here that we take our UE160 camera away, and then I have used this button right here, which is, by the way, also new. It's a user button. We can use this as a macro trigger if we want, and now we trigger the macro, preset 1, wait 4 seconds, go to preset 2, wait 4 seconds, and then on the screen on the RP200, we will now be presented with the step. Next step, please, and then it goes back to preset 1. You could also just insert a recall macro, so that if you want the camera to be doing some beauty shots of the audience, the lights, vase, light, whatever, it can just go in a loop. And then you leave that camera alone, and then you concentrate on the other cameras. The other thing we can do here in the web interface is that we can hook it up with a feed. And in this case, I have my quad view up here on the wall, and it's all in Kairos. And in Kairos, I have made a quad view box. Let's see. A quad view box here where I have all my feeds represented. But I have also made this available as an NDI output. So that means when I go back to my RP200, I can go to NDI, source select, scan, and then I am represented with all the different NDI outputs I have in my network. Then I have chosen my Media Production Suite, Advanced Autoframing, and then when we go here and push the video button, you will see that quad view that I just sent to it. I can also change to have a scope, different parameters here to check, so it's quite handy. But what you also can do is that we also have a SDI output on the device, so we can input that to another monitor if we want a bigger view of the feed that we are sending. And the nice thing about that is that the only thing we have to draw out to the location of this is a LAN cable, because then we can provide it with power, we could send the NDI feed with the feed, the multi-viewer, and then we can just operate from there instead of having to drag a lot of other cables as well. So that's it. And of course, we also have easy access to all the different functions that we want to go. Normally on the old, we had a lot of buttons here to do stuff right there, but here we decided just to put the buttons here when you change the menus to make it a little easier. As you see, we have another joystick here. So what we can do is that we can take a camera. This is controlling the pan and tilt movements of the UBX, not the UBX, but the the camera up there. And then I have another joystick here that I can use to elevate the unit up and down. So you can do multiple things at once. You can even have camera 1 here and camera 2 here if you want to, or navigate the menus or whatever you want. So it's a lot easier to go around. So that's the RP200. Now we have the advanced auto-framing, which is all part of Media Production Suite. So Media Production Suite has a device manager where you can see the group of cameras you decided on. You can make a group. We have PTZ control where we can control the cameras. We have auto-framing here as a plugin where we can see our presenter Oriole is right there. And then, as simple as that, I can just start the auto-framing and decide what kind of framing I would like. So maybe I want to do something in advance, or maybe I want to change stuff along the way, maybe put him in the other side of the frame. And I don't have to stop the system to do this. I can do it along the way as we go along. Maybe you want to put him on a vertical monitor on the stage and you need him to be completely in the middle. You can do that, and then the framing would be centered at all times.
Is using the in-camera tracking now, or is it external tracking when you go this way?
Yeah, so this is the advanced auto framing. So this is external. So we have a computer down here, gamer PC, and it handles everything. This camera up here is an overview camera, so it sees the whole stage, and it's then linked to the other cameras. So if you want to film a person that appears over here, this camera can then direct the other cameras to physically go there and shoot the person. And that's why we use the advanced version, because we can also just use the function standalone in the cameras, but then it's only one camera at a time.
It doesn't know where it is.
Exactly, then we would use it like this and have the single view, and we will choose the 160, and then we can do different framings, of course. But the advanced way, it's a lot easier to combine multiple cameras in the setup. Good to see you. Yeah. So that is basically what it does. We can also put in different pictures here of the persons we want to be framed. We can frame one person at a time, or we can frame 2 persons, 3 persons, 4 persons at a time. Up to 10 people can be framed at a time in this system. And that way, we can make sure that if we have a debate in the studio where we have a presenter and a guest, then they can be in the same frame. And if one moves away, then the camera zooms out. If they move closer, the camera zooms in. Yeah, so that's the advanced auto framing. The last point is the Image Adjust Pro, and it's basically just a copy-paste of our hardware HRPs. So these panels are then duplicated into software, so we can use it either by hand, and you'll see the reaction there on the screen, or of course we can take the action ourselves and do whatever we want. We can then line up everything in our settings to say which numbers is which. We can also put in some favorite features like gamma, flare, and knee, and then we are represented with those flavors here on the panel. In the future, we will also do an post-production version of it, so kind of like the color wheels you see in DaVinci Resolve. So it's a more post-production friendly version, so for people coming from the post world, they will also be able to shade the cameras. And the third option is that you pick yourself what you want to do. So for instance, I want the slider, but I want color wheels, and then I want one button. So you can design yourself.